Hey, Afsa.
Hey, hi,
Welcome. Welcome to the podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to participate in your podcast. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. And it's been a long time since we catched up, and I'm glad that we get to do it today. It must have been like a couple of years now,
And
but I'm glad we get to do it today.
I know, thank God for social media because from time to time we catch up on Instagram and social media. So,
Right, right. So, Afsa, if you could you please introduce yourself?
my name is Hafsatu Kamarake. I was um I was originally born and raised in Freetown, Sierra Leone. I moved to the United States in 2010. I'm a wife to Max Kamarake. I'm a mother to three beautiful kids, two girls and a boy. I will not say they're kids because my oldest is 24 and the middle one is 20, 19 going on 20, and my youngest is 15 going on 16. So I won't call them kids, but to me, they will always remain my kids. I am currently living in the United States. I have the honor to serve the United States Army, and I am currently serving. Um, I went to Fourah Bay College. I got my bachelor's in physics and electrical engineering. I worked a couple of years in Freetown before I moved to the United States. I am a warrant officer in the United States Army, and I am in aviation. I'm a Chief Warrant Officer too in aviation branch, and I am a technical officer. I manage maintenance, and that's a synopsis about me.
Oh, wow. Thanks for that introduction. Yeah, talking about kids, saying your eldest is 24. Wow, Afsa, that's amazing. You've done an amazing job. Mine is just I only have a daughter and she's just 11 months, so I'm catching up in the game.
You don't worry, you will get there. You will get there.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll be coming for some tips.
Now I am in auntie mode. I'm a
Yeah,
forever
yeah.
come over, and auntie's here to take care of the kids.
All right. Perhaps talking about your experience. I mean, you've said so much, and I'm happy that we're going to talk about it today. You're just going to give us a little bit of insight into your life, most especially your career as in working in the army. And but before we get into that, right, I just want to take you back to Sierra Leone, Freetown, um,
Yes.
Fourah Bay College, right, and that's where we met, right, as
Yes.
students in engineering or sciences, because everything was just blended back then, right?
Yes. Hmm.
Engineering students and science students were just doing the same thing. I just want to take you back to that before we get into your career now, and maybe from your experience, because I have my own experience. I have what I went through, but looking back through your own perspective, what was your Fabric College experience like?
So my fabric college experience was everything I expected and more. So backstory, I was the first one in my family to go to college. I have no experience, no expectation about fabric college. My only expectation I have, because I also went to a public school, government local secondary school. It's at the base of the Tower Hill, like before you get to fabric college. So every day I go to school, I know nothing about university. I have no one to look up to going to college. But I always saw these people downstairs waiting to go up. And I was like, oh, they dress nice, they look cute. I said, what are they doing? Why are they hanging out there like all the time? Because I'll see like model school students, I see academy school students, and, a bunch of other students. And then I saw people in nice attire, kind of like grown up adults, waiting to catch the bus. And I was like, what are they doing? And it was like, yeah, they are Fourah Bay College students. And I was like, what is that? I was that when it all my excitement to go to college was in after I sit the Becker. So I wasn't into education. I just go to school, and then we were the first one to took the Becker, and I got 17. I could get 17. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm there, And I started looking into like, what do they do? What do I need to do to get to Fourah Bay College? And I ended up in Fourah Bay College, and my expectation was I'm going to be one of those. I was like, I'm going to be one of them, just waiting down Tower Hill to get on the bus to go to Fourah Bay College. And then I went to Fourah Bay College, and it was everything I expected. Initially, when I started, I didn't have friends because none of my year group, like I said, I went to Gokel. You don't see too many people from Gokel, government Gokel Secondary School, going to Fourah Bay College. So I went to Fourah Bay College. I didn't have none of my secondary school. So I was hesitant, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm here. This is what I wanted. This is what I want to do, but I have no friends. I feel like everyone was in a clique, and I was like, how do I get into this clique and everything? But I met one of my childhood friends that we went to primary school together, and she was there with me, and I was like, okay, now I know her. So whoever she knows, is gonna be my friend. And then eventually it was like, I guess I would say my personality, and I was able to interact with everyone, and my experience was good. And also, once I got all my friends, I feel like, oh yeah, I'm in Fourah Bay College. I start looking into clubs. My first year I joined Mbala. I think your sister was she Mbala too in Mbala?
Yeah, Nadia
Yes.
was in
Yeah.
Mbala.
So I joined Mbala, and it was like, oh my gosh, I love it. I love Fourah Bay College. I have my own space. I have my own room. I have all those late night conversation with my friends. We'll go downtown, hang out, and come back on campus, go to class, and then come back, go to parties, try to juggle the social life and the academic life, make sure everything is on point. But yeah, it was everything I expected. I met my husband in college too.
Really?
So, yeah. So
Amazing.
he was a past member for Mbala. So during those social gathering, we met each other, and here we are. So Fourah Bay College was everything I expected and more.
Talking about love story, huh? that's a movie.
And then my second year, I joined the Flosax, and and I started focusing. After my second year, it was like all the fun was over. Now I'm trying to figure out, like, hey, what do I want to do? Do I want to switch over to engineering, or do I want to just keep my physics and engineering option? So it was good academically. A broaden my knowledge on, like, coming from a public school, have no I wouldn't say I didn't have much foundation, but me going to Fourah Bay College, like, broaden my knowledge. And for me, Fourah Bay College was the basis for everything I have achieved, because it gives me that discipline. It gives me that financial discipline, one, because, like, you have this much money and you have a week to go through. So you have your financial discipline have to be on point. You have to be able to juggle between your classes, your social activities, your friends' activities, your late night sit down with your friend, and everything. So for me, Fourah Bay College was the basis of everything I have right now.
Oh, wow. After the way you put it, kind of like it makes me want to, take a step back and look at it from a different lens. And I'm glad you kind of like shared this with me, because definitely I'm going to go back and, like, you know what, there were so much positives out of it, right? But talking about you meeting some friends, getting your own clique and stuff like that, who were you hanging out with? Let me see if I can remember a few names that you would call.
Oh, I hung out with everybody, pretty much. So I have my female clique, which is I have Hadija. Hadija was with us for like a year, and then year two she left. I have
Yeah.
Tibidam Kibari. I have
Wow.
Sabina, Leonie. So it was five of us in our clique, and then we
Uh-huh.
have some other friends, Kefe, Sal, Jellicatu, and a few names. And then we have the guys section. You have the Patrice, you have Moi Kamara, of course you have Sumaila, you have all of them. You have Carlos, you have
Kalito.
Calito, all of us. So it was like we'll hang out with the guys and we'll hang out with the female, and we all were able to hang out cohesively.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like the names, some of the names that you just called, like I know these people. Like, fantastic, great guys and women, of course, and it was a pleasure, sharing that moment with them, and of course, I met you there. And by the way, you're talking about Mbala. I don't know if you remember, but I also went to Mbala and I was
Yeah,
calling
I
you
know.
auntie when we were in the
I
same class.
know.
I don't know how that happened.
I know. Because I think I went you went the year after I did.
Yes, correct.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I don't know how it happened, but I was calling you auntie, which was like,
Well, you have to, because I'm initiating you, so you have to call me
well, anyway, it was fun. It was fun. Yeah. So you graduated and then you started working. Did you you graduated as with physics, right? As you're saying,
Yeah.
you graduated with physics and engineering, electrical
Mhm.
engineering as well. And with that, you started after graduation. Did you get into your first career role?
Yeah. So after I graduated, because I was hired by the university, so I was teaching practical physics, basically like
Mm,
the laboratory aspect of the. So I was teaching practical physics, and I taught practical physics for about a year, and then
wow.
after that, I was able to secure a job at UBA, United Bank of America, as their customer service manager. So I worked there for, I think, about 2 years, because I graduated in 2006, and I worked in the university for like about a year and a half. And I switched over to banking, and I was in charge of customer service and yeah,
Oh,
account.
wow.
Yeah, so we were the first people to work at United Bank of Africa when they established their branch in Freetown. So we were the first people to work there. So I worked there for until 2009, almost the end of 2009 when I left for the United States.
Okay. So, Hafsa, moving from Freetown, you've already studied there. You've had a job opportunity with UBA, and then you left, came to America. How was that transition for you? Like, was it a struggle?
Struggle was an understatement, because it was me and my husband. We moved. My husband moved about 6 months before I did, and we came. And our expectation of America, how like to secure a job and everything was easy, it wasn't. So we start looking for jobs, and it wasn't like I, my husband and I did not want it to do the typical. I wouldn't say the typical jobs that usually African do, which is
Hmm.
the healthcare. And where I was staying with my aunts, my family member, that's all they know. And then coming from back home, my background was like I worked at a bank. It's like, me, I don't know anything about the medical field. That's not what I want to do. So, and I was like, I don't want to get a job there because that's what I want to do. So it was hard. My husband and I, we started putting our resumes out there. And then my husband decided to go back to school. And I was like, well, we both can't go to school because one, we don't have money. And then two, we can't afford to both of us take student loan. So he was working there and I was looking for job, 6-7 months passed. We haven't secured a job yet. And I was like, hey, I guess I'm going back home. And then fortunately for us, while we were sending out our resume, one of the recruiter in the recruiter station got back to us and he was like, have you guys thought about joining the military? And I was like, I don't know. My husband, I'm looking at my husband. I'm like, yeah, that's you. Like, I am the least physical person. Like, I've never done anything physical in my life, not even participate in intersect, the intersect sport that we used to have. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was the least physical. I couldn't pass any of the tests before the actual. So I was like, yeah, that's you. So during that time, it was very stressful. My husband was in school, I wasn't, and money was not coming in. We were like, hey, do we have to go back home? Because I didn't put my resignation. I was like, I talked to my boss. I was like, hey, I'm gonna go figure out how it is in America, and if it doesn't suit me, I'm come back and blah blah blah. So it was like 6. We still haven't gotten anything, and my answer was like, you can't go back. You're already here. You got to figure something out. And then, luckily for us, we have that call. It was like an response from the recruiter saying, hey, you are qualified for this, and these are your options. So my husband.
Okay.
Yeah, my husband and I went to the recruiting station to go see the recruiter, and here we are.
Wow. 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 What a story. What a story. But it just shows your resilience,
Yeah.
your will and drive to
Mhm.
overcome challenges. And I admire that. I admire that for sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't I wasn't the one that wanted to join. It was my husband. So we went
Okay.
there, and the recruiter was like, yeah, take the test. He took the test, and it turned out he was 2 years above the age limit, and they couldn't give him an age waiver. And
Okay.
by that time, I don't have a job. You know,
Okay.
let me take the test, the entrance test, and see if I can pass. And I did. And then after I finished, and I was like, I don't think I'm strong enough. I don't think I'm like, I don't think this is what I want to do. Like, and then, it started going like I think it was month 9, 10. And I was like, the struggle is real. I need to do something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the US Army at all, but I see in these movies, like, how they do boot camp. They like,
Yeah.
yes sir, waking up in the morning, jogging, running, and all of these things. And you're talking about you not being physical. I'm trying to picture you doing all those march and jogging and push-ups and all of these things. Like,
Yeah.
what was your experience like when you got in there? Like, you're doing all these things, right? It's like it's a brand new world to you, right? Maybe if you could just kind of like whatever you can tell us, like in
Mhm.
terms of your experience there.
Oh, so when I finally, because when I finally decided, I was like, hey, this is what I want to do. I went back to the recruiter. I was like, hey, I know I took the pre-test and I passed. And can I go take the actual test? And he was like, well, you have to lose the weight. He said, one, you're overweight. Even if
Mm,
you take the test, you wouldn't be, even if you take the test and pass, you wouldn't meet the physical requirements for you to get accepted. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, you know what? I don't have a job. I got nothing to do. There was a gym like a mile, half mile down where I used to stay with my aunt. So I joined the gym and I started running. I started, like I thought I was there. I thought I was there. So I lost the weight. I lost about 40 pounds. I went back to
wow.
the I went back to the recruiting station. I was like, hey, I'm ready. He was like, yeah, you are ready. What did you do? I was like, shit, I stopped eating rice. I was like, just kidding. And then he took me to the MEPS. It's like the processing center. He took me and I took the test and I passed. Um, and then yeah, and then I went to training. I
Uh-huh.
went even the very first day before I left. There was this one of he was in Fourah Bay College, but he was senior, but he was in the military. And I asked him like, hey, I've already get accepted. I'm going for basic training on this day. I can't even do a push up. I can only do one or two push up. Like, you think this is a good idea before I finally signed the contract? And he was like, yeah, don't worry. That's what he told me. He said, don't worry, they will train you. And I was like,
Mhm.
okay. So I went to that day, signed the contract. I left the Sunday. Everything was mellow, jello. I went to the recruiting station. They bussed us down to the processing center. They took us to Golden Corral. We ate and we chilled in the bus. Everything was
Wow, I think it was beautiful.
yes. And I was like, yeah, everything seems good. It's beautiful. And then we get to the base. Oh my gosh. When we get down, I was smiling and was like, put your teeth away. And then, they start yelling and like,
Uh-huh.
I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
Wow.
That's how intense. But it's coming from somebody that I don't have, like, my physical stamina wasn't there. So
Okay.
yeah, and I trained for like 3 months. So
Okay.
it wasn't there, but it's not a hard process. Looking at it now, it's not a hard process. But going into during that time, I thought I was going to have a heart attack, but I survived.
Yeah, yeah, we've seen the result now. But anyways, after joining the army, I was just wondering because you in your introduction you talked about being in the aviation wing. How has your progression, your career progression within the army been? Like starting off from day one recruitment and then throughout the years, how did it grow and what type of if you could share what type of roles that you had been involved in?
Like, how I said, Fourah Bay College was the basis of everything. So when
Yes.
you took the entrance test, it is categorized by section. So you have like the clerical section, you have the maintenance section, like science section, you have the, English
Mm-hmm.
basics. So when I took the test, I maxed the science portion and
Oh,
it landed
congrats.
me because the whatever section you score high on is what your job is going to be based on. So because
Mm.
I maxed out that section and obviously the math and kind of like the English a little bit, but like the science section, I maxed it out. So I landed a job. Initially, I was a helicopter repair. So what I do initially, I just fixed the helicopter. But like after training, after you finish your basic training and you successfully become a soldier, they will send you to your specialized training where they will train you on how to perform your job. And after you finish that training, they will assign you to a unit where you kind of like an apprentice. You have somebody, a mentor that you work under to make sure you have all the skills and knowledge that you're going to be able to fulfill your job in the later on. So I started as a helicopter repairer. I was in charge of my, fixing. I was fixing the helicopters, doing inspection, the schedule maintenance, coming from somebody that is not mechanically inclined.
Yeah.
So I had to learn quickly, but it was good. I had great mentors. They put me in roles where I would broaden my technical knowledge. So I was very grateful for those mentors that I had during that time. And then after that, and I become a crew chief where I fly with the pilots in charge, making sure the aircraft and everything. I'm trying not to say too much.
Of course, of course. You don't need to say too much. But whatever you're saying right now is blowing my mind.
Yes. But I was assigned my own helicopter with the pilot in my platoon. So our team, we have a set of 3 helicopters. We're in charge of the maintenance, the flight schedule, everything. We're in charge of it. And then I did for that for about 3 years. And by this time in my career, I wouldn't say my physical stamina was there, but it was to a point where they looked at me to be one of like the female mentor. And so they put me in fitness role. I was in a couple fitness role. I was the master fitness trainer for my company, where I like people overweight, people that can't meet the physical standard. I will train them and send them back to the unit. And then I later become a drill sergeant. So where I started, I end up going there teaching teaching civilian young kids, to become a soldier. So being a drill sergeant was like my best accomplishment in the Army, because it was everything I expected. Because you would think somebody that was not born and raised in America, you would think those roles are going to be hidden from you, but not in the Army. So like every opportunity that I am qualified for was offered to me. So I was very grateful. And after that, I came back, had a platoon. I had my own platoon. I was a platoon sergeant. I made it up all the way to E7. And then I transitioned over to become an officer. Because I guess I was like, you know what? Let me see what the other side have to offer me.
Wow. I mean, like this is great insight, Hafsa. Just showing that that is so much you can do within the Army. You can have your skill sets, whichever it is, apart from if it's science or whatever, and you can create a very good and successful career out of it. And of course, be also a leader. Be, as you were saying, being a platoon. There's a drill sergeant, right?
Yeah.
And teaching other kids, molding them into becoming, being part of the soldiers and being part of the Army. I mean, that's great. That's a great achievement. Congratulations on all you've done. And you're talking about, I just wanted to talk about you being a woman in the Army. Like, how's that? Like, I mean, that's taking on that, doing something really, really brave, right? Because it's oh my god, mindful going to Army right now, right? Well, I'm also gonna. So, from your point of view as a woman being in the Army, what's that like?
I don't know. Like, I didn't see it was a challenge, right? For me, how I molded my career, if I'm comfortable with what I'm doing, I need to do more. So I always wanted to be in a position where I don't have to question, because I don't have to question my physical activity, right? Because being a soldier, physical fitness is your number one job. And then you have your job. So I'm always challenged by my male teammates, because I don't want them to be like, oh, just you're a female, you can't do it. So I always want to keep up with them. And being a female in the Army, it did not hold me back, because the Army is so easy. Whatever is expected of you, you know it. So it's up to you to take up the expectation. It's up to you to give you 100%. So it's literally up to you. So when I'm in aviation is a male dominant career. And me being a female, I don't want to be the stereotype, oh, you're a female, oh, you can't do this, you can't do this. So I was like, nah, what do I need to do? Bring it on. I'm not going to die, but I can give my 100%. And I've done that Like, I don't sit back just because I'm a female. I make sure whatever decision they're making with my male camaraderie and teammate, I am there. So being a female in the army, it does not hold me back at all. Even when I was a drill sergeant, like we have those male, because they pick people like kind of like the top 10% of every branch, every cycle, and then they recruit them to be a drill sergeant. So for me, my job, they needed a female. So they look across, they were like, hey, she's gonna be, and I try to get out of it. Like, I don't think they're like, nope, you've done this, and this, and your physical fitness is kind of like there. And we looked across, you're the one that is suited for this job at this time, so you don't have a choice. So I took that mentality, and then when I went to the Jusan school to train, and that was like my mentality. I'm not gonna let this male, just because they're male, run me out, push up in me, out sit up in me, out like rock march in me. I'm gonna give you my all. And
Uh,
then I kind of did, and I I
I,
wasn't I wasn't on the back. I wouldn't say.
I like that. I like that. I like that mindset, that approach. Being like, you know what, it's all about abilities,
Yes,
and I'm gonna just put it out there. Meet my potential, and just do it,
yeah.
basically. And after, I just want to talk about, like, the army is a very disciplined environment. It's all about command structure and all of these things. And coming from a civilian life, how did you manage, getting comfortable, or even, being being very comfortable with that environment, or that type of structure?
You don't have a choice. At that time, I don't have a choice, because it's either that or I don't have a job. And then when I went and I look at, because I was 29 when I joined, and I
Mhm.
am in training with 18, 19-year-old, and they're doing it. And I was like, I'm not gonna let those 19-year-old, they don't even have a college degree. Yeah, I'm not gonna let those kids like, outdo me, or so I have to learn quick. I have to learn and adapt quickly. And for me, it was also learning the American culture, because I joined in a year after I moved to America. So I
Okay.
was learning military discipline, but I was also learning American culture, because when I joined the army was the first time I am away from the Sierra Leonean community in America.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh my gosh, the way they speak, the way they interact, everything was completely different. So I had to learn fast and quick. But it wasn't hard. Everything, like, the military is so structured, they will teach you everything. They will teach you, and you have a fast pace to learn. And that's why I said Fourah Bay College was my basis. Just that little discipline I have in Fourah Bay College, try to study and study and study and make it happen. I use that same discipline, when I joined the army. And I was like, I don't have a choice. This is what I want to do. I kind of like it. I like the physical aspect of it. I don't have a choice. So I it was a quick, fast pace for me, but I have to adapt.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did, because I think I might have struggled a little bit. I must have, like, it would have kind of like reprimanded me like one or two times and threatened to kick me out, and then I'll be like, okay, let's do it now.
No, but the drill sergeants, that's their job. That's why when I went, I had the opportunity to go back and teach people and train people. I was honored, because that's your job. It doesn't matter. Because when I joined, I was still struggling with like my accent and everything, and they were very they were very like understanding. They were very practical in everything. So they would teach you. They would teach and teach and teach you until you give up on yourself. So I was like, I'm not gonna have them over talk me. I'm not gonna have them like teach me. They tell me this is what I need to do. I'm gonna get it done. So it was a quick, fast pace for me to learn the discipline, learn whatever training we have to do, and then accomplish it.
Oh wow. Thanks, Afsa. So in terms of benefits or advantages, what do you feel are the benefits or the advantages of army life?
One, my military discounts. You everywhere I go, I'll be like, do you have military discount? Yeah. So that's like my most added advantage. But it's just because in America, right, medical, housing, and job, that is what we go to work for.
Correct.
Right? And as a military personnel, those are offered to you. You are offered free medical for you and your entire family with zero copay. Anything. You are offered housing, whether you want to live on base or outside base. You're offered housing. You're offered like the benefits are endless. Like for me, I look at the positive side of, of the army, and I've embraced it. But when it comes to like benefiting the army, just benefiting serving, the honor that you get when you go through the airport, you flash your ID card, you don't have to go through TSA, you're already pre-approved TSA. You have your luggage free of charge from all the airlines. The benefits are endless to me.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell. Just having all of these things that you just mentioned, I think that's like the basis of what we strive for in
Yes.
life here. Having that safety and all of that, it seems to be offered by the army. And as you're saying, it's a very honored profession, right? And I see it. I'm not American, but every time they play the flag, I see the honor and they always say thank you for your service and stuff like that. So thank you for your service, Hafsa.
You know what? When they say thank you for your service, that's what I don't want. I always say thank you. My pleasure.
All right, so I'm just like before we get to the few final questions, I just wanted to know, like when you look at your career progression within the army, like what do you feel like it took to be, or it takes to be successful within the army? Like what are the few skill sets or few things that people need to know to make it like a successful career?
Discipline, discipline, discipline. It's the number one, because discipline has to do, because if you master the art of discipline, your physical fitness will always be a priority. They don't have to, because that's the first thing. Whatever job position that you're trying to get, that's the first thing they look into. So if you have mastered the art of discipline, whatever position or however you want to mold your career, it's going to be easy. So for me, it took me from when I started all the way to E7, it took me about 8 years. Usually some people, it would take them 14, 15 years. Some people, will retire in that rank. And it took me about 8 years. And
Wow.
I wouldn't say it's because of my discipline, but I will say that too, because for every job I wanted, I think because of that discipline I have, I am qualified for. Because that's the first thing, whatever job or whatever career, however, whatever job you want in the Army, that's the first thing they test.
Okay.
So when you pass that test, other opportunities are going to be open for you.
Well
So
said.
go ahead.
Well said. Well said. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, giving that knowledge or insight into what it takes. And then finally, after, when you look at your career, not even career, but when you look at from now we're talking from Fourah Bay College all the way to where you are at now, what has been the motivation or the inspiration behind your journey so far? This is a question that I like to ask because I always learn something.
It's my family. My family was the driving force behind everything. When I started, like I said, I was the first one in my family to go to college. And I was the first one to graduate with a bachelor's. I was the first one to join the Army. So my family has been there to support me, to motivate me in whatever I wanted to do. Whatever I wanted to do, I'm the first one in my family to take that venture. My family is there. I don't know what to expect. They don't know what to expect, but they're always there to support me in whatever I want to do. So my success, my career, me moving from Sierra Leone to settle here, it's all based on my family support. So my family is my driving force, and when I wake up every morning, is for my family to let them know, like, hey, you are your own limit. Whatever you want to limit yourself, it's you. So
Wow. Thank you for that. And I caught up on something like you being the first, you first in your family to go to Fourah Bay College, and first, most things. And I appreciate that because it takes a lot to be the first to do something, and to get in, dive into the unknown and find your way out. It takes a lot of a lot. I was saying a lot of skill set just to be successful in what you do, and I think that's something that I admire in you, Hafsa. Thanks for sharing so much.
thank you.
And Hafsa,
I guess I love the adrenaline of not knowing what the outcome is. So I always trying to go for the unknown.
I can see that. I can see that. But you're doing so far. You're doing amazing, excellent.
I'm only trying every day. I'm trying.
Hey, that's the thing, right? You always have to try. You gotta keep on trying. So let's get to the fun part of things. This is the random questions that I have, and for you today, I want to take you down memory lane. I want to jog your memory. I want to
Yeah.
see how. I don't know. I don't know if you can remember everything, but maybe you would. I'll be surprised. Now I'm surprised by a lot of things that you've done. So I wouldn't be surprised if you remember everything. But anyways, I just want to jog your memory a little bit and let's just have fun with it. So I have about 5 questions for you, and I just want to see what your memory is, what your memory level is at.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Okay. So first question. This is an easy one. I think you should get it.
Oh shit. Now I'm
What
on.
is the what? Because you said something about it earlier. So what is the name of the street that you saw all these people that were looking nice taking the bus up to Fourah Bay College?
Oh my God. Tower Hill. Sakina Road.
Close, but not close. One more try.
Please. Oh God. Ah. Oh Lord. I can't believe I forgot. No. Whatever. They call them bus stop, right?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I know. I got it.
It's no, it's Berry Street.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It's the same.
Okay, I'll give you that one. I'm gonna give you one that I think you should. This one I think you might remember.
Well, we'll see.
What is
That's
the
the
name
highlight.
of the What is the name of the place that you got your degree at during convocation?
Amphitheater.
There you go. That's it. All right, I'm gonna give you another one. There is a building in Fourah Bay College. It's the tallest building in Fourah Bay College. What is it called?
Oh my God. Kennedy Building.
Yep, Kennedy Building. You got it.
Man, those are not easy questions. Those
Yeah, that is
they're not easy questions.
exactly. I want to jog your memory. I want to see how far you can remember. All right, another one. This woman was the matron, let's call it, of LH.
Oh yeah, I know her. Don't even I know her.
What's her name?
Miss Domingo. Miss Domingo. Oh my gosh. That lady put me in LH on the bottom floor. Closer.
Oh yeah.
Closer to the bathroom, to the general bathroom.
Oh, was it for your first year?
Yes, I could not forget that.
Okay. Who was your roomie?
Oh, my roommate was Alicia.
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 I remember. I remember
Yeah.
Alicia. I remember Alicia.
I think
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
was
Wow.
studying. She was in art.
Yeah, I remember her. Yeah, I remember her. All right. Two final questions. Right. I think this one you're gonna. I don't know. You might not struggle with it because
We'll
we're
see.
talking about. Okay, this is all about sports. So there are three houses in Fourah Bay College.
Yeah.
What are those three houses?
Davis and Nico. That's
Yeah.
one. Bible.
Yeah.
I don't remember the other one. Davis Nicole Bible and Solo Davison, Solomon.
You almost there.
Solomon
Solomon.
Solomon
Solomon. Solomon what?
Solomon Tucker.
Very close, but not close enough. But very close. Solomon.
Prats. Now I'm just making shit up.
Oh, you were close with the talker. You were close with the talker. It's just that it's Solomon Cocker.
Oh, Solomon Cocker. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Final question. This place, I've seen you shop there. I've seen you sat close to it, hanging out with all of your cool friends back in the days. Even at this place, you've been sitting with your Deflo Sax ladies, chillaxing. Right? There are two restaurants or two. I think one is a restaurant, the other one is like a place you can go get things at. What are these places?
Is it 201? I know.
Two.
Fine Things.
Yep, Fine Things.
Fine Things is one. And are you talking about the other one that was a student union building?
Student Union building.
Yeah, like the registrar office.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, across the registrar office, it had like this thing,
yes,
tall thing. We used to call it a name.
I don't remember.
Nothing at all. Obelix.
Oh, Obliques. Oh yeah! Oh my God! Now I feel so bad.
No, but you did well. You did well. I think
how many questions did I get? Right?
You got Domingo, Madame Domingo. You got half for Berry Street. You got I would say 3/4 for Solomon Cocker and Davis Nicole. You got Fine Things. You got Kennedy. You got Amphitheater. So your memory,
your
memory is good.
50%.
I think you got like, I would say 80%, 80 to 85%. Yeah, that was good. That was really good. You still remember. So this has been great though. This has been great. Not only for the fact that it's been like a long time since we catched up,
Yes.
but also for the fact that we're able to reminisce about, you know, our unique experience, because going to public college was unique. And also
Yes.
thank you for just giving me a different perspective of public college, because most of the time we always go like, oh, by the time we're leaving public college, we're already tired, we want to get out and all of that. But your perspective was fresh enough for me to go back and say, you know what, there were some very great experiences, cool people that we met in public college, good relationships that we met, and those are unique experience that very few people have lived. And I appreciate you for just opening my eyes in that kind of way. And of course, most of all, being in such a very unique and honorable job, that a profession that you're in, and just sharing your insight into it and what it takes to be, to have that type of lifestyle or career. I mean, that's great, and I appreciate you for just sharing all of your knowledge and experiences with me. It's been an honor, and thank you for your service, for your
Thank
sharing
you.
the experience.
Thank you for inviting me to share my perspective about Fourah College, a little bit of me and the Army, and how easy it is, and how you're open to whatever opportunity in America, period. Because I've only been in America for 14 years, as long as I am in the military. So I'm grateful for this country, and I'm grateful for you to give me this platform to at least share, that experience. If anybody wanted to do something like this, it's something they will be coming in from the fact that I was the least physical, and then I'm doing the most physical now. And so I'm grateful for this platform. I'm grateful for you to help me share some of my experience during this time.
Thanks, Afsa. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Mhm.